let's kick off our shoes, grab our favorite comfy chairs, and get ready for a deep dive into the heart of Norway. You know those incredible landscapes, towering cliffs, those deep blue fjords? Well, that's where we're headed today. We're checking out Trolltunga Adventures, a company that promises to give you a truly immersive experience in this incredible region, especially around the famous Trolltunga Cliff. So the question is, are they the right fit for your Norwegian adventure? I guess that's what we're here to find out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. They've really zeroed in on one of those super iconic landmarks, the Trolltunga Cliff, and they've built all sorts of different experiences around it. It's pretty smart considering how many people just dream of going to see that place in person.
Yeah, and it's not just about snapping that picture-perfect photo, although I have to say those pictures on their website, wow, stunning. But they seem to be offering something more than that, like a deeper connection to the landscape and the culture. But before we get ahead of ourselves, maybe we should set the stage a bit.
Definitely. So think about the Hardanger region where all this takes place. It's a place of extremes. You've got these deep carved-out fjords, mountains that just seem to touch the sky, and then those lush valleys where the air is so fresh you can almost taste it. It's a place that just begs to be explored.
And it sounds like Trolltunga Adventures wants to help you do just that, with everything from guided hikes to kayaking trips, even cider tasting. But, let's talk about those hikes first, because reaching Trolltunga itself, that's a pretty epic feat.
Oh, for sure. Imagine this. It's a tongue of rock jetting out over 700 meters above a lake. It's like nature's own daredevil stunt. No wonder it's become such a sought-after destination.
It's one thing to see it in pictures, but to actually stand there, I can see why people would want to experience that firsthand. But wouldn't hiking that kind of terrain be, well, a little daunting, especially for someone who's not exactly a seasoned mountaineer?
Well, that's where those guided hikes come in. It's not just about having someone lead the way, it's about having that expert knowledge. Someone who knows the trails, the weather patterns, and who can point out those hidden gems you might miss on your own.
Okay, so you're not just paying for a guide, you're paying for their expertise. That makes sense, especially in an environment that can be pretty unpredictable.
And it sounds like they offer different types of hiking experiences too, right? Not just day trips.
Right. They've got these overnight adventures that seem pretty special. Not only do you get that thrill of the hike, but you get to camp out, right near Trolltunga itself. Can you imagine waking up to that view without all the daytime crowds?
That sounds amazing. But isn't roughing it part of the appeal of a wilderness experience? Does this take away from that authentic feeling?
That's a great question. And it's definitely something they seem to be addressing. They talk about providing comfortable tents, high-quality gear. It's not just tossing a sleeping bag on the ground. They're aiming for that balance between adventure and comfort. Interesting. So it's not exactly glamping, but it's not hardcore survival mode either. They're catering to a slightly different type of adventurer. But what really intrigues me? It's those kayak tours. Paddling through a fjord, that has to be a completely different perspective on the landscape.
Absolutely. Sørfjorden, where those tours take place, is known for its calm waters. Just imagine gliding through the fjord, surrounded by towering cliffs, orchards lining the shores. It's truly a sensory experience, not just visual.
Okay, paint me a picture.
Yeah.
What else would I see from that vantage point? Are there historical landmarks or, unique wildlife I might encounter?
Well, they mention the possibility of spotting seals, even porpoises. And just think about the history of these fjords. They were vital waterways for centuries, used for trade, transportation, everything. Those waters have stories to tell.
Wow, I'm starting to see why they include this in their lineup. It's a way to experience the region on a more, intimate level, to feel the rhythm of the water, the history echoing all around you.
Exactly. It's a different kind of adventure, one that emphasizes tranquility and observation. It's not about conquering the landscape, but being in harmony with it.
I love that. And after a day of, paddling around and taking in the sights, how about we treat ourselves to something a little different? Because Trolltunga Adventures also offers something that really piqued my curiosity. It's a cider tasting tour at a place called Kvestad Sider. So what's the story there?
Well, Kvestad Sider is more than just a cider farm. It's a piece of living history. It's this family-run operation that's been around since the 18th century. I mean, just imagine the stories those orchards could tell.
Oh, yeah, that's what I love about this. It's not just about sipping ciders, like stepping back in time. You get a real taste of tradition.
Yeah.
But what makes their cider unique? Is it the apples, the process, or is there something else going on?
Well, they actually talk about a specific mark that was carved into a beam back in 1808. It's a real tangible link to the past, and they've even used it as inspiration for their logo. But beyond the history, they're clearly so passionate about the craft of cider making. They use traditional methods that have been passed down for generations.
So it's that blend of old and new, tradition meeting innovation that's so fascinating. And the tour itself sounds pretty special. Do they actually walk you through the orchards and explain the process?
Oh yeah, you get to meet the producers, hear their stories, you learn what makes Hardanger cider so special. It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look at this craft that's been honed over centuries.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a level of authenticity you just don't get from buying a bottle at the store. You're actually experiencing the place, the people, the passion behind it all. And of course, there's the tasting itself. What kind of ciders do they offer?
Well, they mention having a whole variety, each one capturing the essence of the Hardanger region. Think about the unique terroir, the soil, the climate. It all comes together in the flavor. It's like tasting the landscape itself.
Okay, I'm convinced. This cider tasting tour needs to go on my Norway bucket list. But before we get carried away with our travel plans, let's step back for a second. With so many tour operators out there, what makes Trolltunga Adventures stand out? Why would someone choose them over, say, a larger, more established company?
It seems like their focus is really on quality and those personalized experiences. They highlight having small group sizes, expert guides who are passionate about sharing local knowledge, and all those little extras that can make a big difference.
Okay, so they're not just about ticking off landmarks. They're about creating memorable moments, like fostering a deeper connection with the place. But some might argue that a truly authentic experience comes from venturing off the beaten path, not following a pre-planned itinerary. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a really interesting point. But I think there's a balance to be struck. Sometimes having a little expert guidance can actually enhance your experience, especially in a place like Norway, where the landscape can be both beautiful and a little challenging. And Trolltunga Adventures seem to understand this. They're not just about reaching the destination, it's about enriching the journey along the way.
And they seem to be doing a good job of it, considering they've earned TripAdvisor's Traveler's Choice Award. But let's get down to the practical stuff. If someone's thinking about booking a trip with them, what are the essential things they need to know?
Well, first things first, the best time to visit is during the summer, from June to September. You'll have that optimal weather, longer days for hiking, and all the trails should be clear of snow.
Makes sense. So pack for sunshine, but be prepared for anything. Norway's weather can be a little unpredictable.
Absolutely. Pack for all 4 seasons in one day. Layered clothing is key. A good waterproof jacket, sturdy hiking boots, those are essentials.
Yeah.
And of course, don't forget your camera to capture all those jaw-dropping vistas.
Of course. But I have a feeling the most important thing to pack is a sense of adventure. So where can our listeners find more information about Trolltunga Adventures and start planning their own Norwegian adventure?
Well, their website is definitely the best place to start. It's packed with details about their tours, pricing, availability, and even just stunning photos and videos that really give you a feel for the region.
That's great. And if anyone has any specific questions, they can check out the FAQs section on the website.
Exactly. They seem to cover a wide range of topics, so you should be able to find answers to most of your questions there.
Perfect. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from challenging hikes to serene kayak journeys, from the history of cider making to the just breathtaking landscapes of the Hardanger region.
Yeah, we've explored such a variety of experiences that Trolltunga Adventures offers, and it's clear that they go above and beyond in creating those really personalized and meaningful travel experiences.
Whether you're an experienced hiker, a kayaking enthusiast, a cider aficionado, or just someone drawn to the wild beauty of Norway, they seem to have something for everyone.
They've definitely piqued my curiosity, and I hope they've done the same for our listeners.
Now for the big question. So if you could choose just one of these Trolltunga adventures, which one would it be? The challenging hike, the peaceful paddle, or the taste of history at the cider farm?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, they all sound so amazing. If I had to pick just one, I think I'd go for the overnight hike to Trolltunga.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it about that experience that speaks to you?
Well, there's something so powerful about the idea of spending the night under the stars with this incredible cliff as your backdrop. It's like you have this chance to completely disconnect from the everyday world and connect with something so much bigger than yourself.
Oh, I can see that. It's one thing to see Trolltunga during the day with all the other visitors, but to experience it at sunset and sunrise, with that feeling of solitude, that must be pretty special.
Exactly. I'm not really one for roughing it, but the way they describe the overnight experience, With the comfortable tents and all the gear provided, it takes away the stress so you can just enjoy the moment.
So you get the best of both worlds. Adventure and a good night's sleep. And, there's something to be said for sharing that experience with a small group of like-minded people.
Absolutely. Imagine sitting around a campfire under the stars, swapping stories. It's not just about the destination, it's about the people you share it with. It sounds like the perfect combination of challenge and camaraderie.
Oh, you've sold me on it.
Yes.
That overnight hike is going on my list. And it reminds me of something we talked about earlier. Trolltunga Adventures really seems to get that travel is about more than just checking things off a list. It's about creating those lasting memories, those moments that stay with you long after you've come home.
I couldn't agree more. And they seem to achieve that by offering all these different experiences that cater to different interests and comfort levels, but always prioritizing quality and authenticity.
Well said. So for our listeners out there who are now feeling inspired to embark on their own Norwegian adventure, what would be the next step?
I'd say head straight to the Trolltunga Adventures website, explore their tour options, check out those amazing photos and videos, and just start dreaming. You might even find yourself booking that trip sooner than you think.
And who knows, maybe we'll bump into each other out there on the trail someday.
That would be fantastic.
All right, folks, well, that wraps up our deep dive into Trolltunga Adventures. We've explored the thrills, the scenery, the flavors, and the history of Norway's Hardanger region. And we've discovered a tour company that seems dedicated to providing exceptional and personalized travel experiences. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, explore the world, and don't forget to keep diving deep.